Hey there, hope you're doing all right. I got your message, and I'm actually going to suggest to more of my students that if they would like anything in particular for me to cover in their video lesson, to let me know. I think that's a brilliant idea, and I'm really surprised that I hadn't thought to do that up until this point. So thank you for feeling like you could ask for me to make a video specifically on something you're thinking about. I think that's a great idea, and if you're ever feeling that way in the future, shoot me a message. Depending on the situation, I may not always be able to do that, but I'll certainly try to do that as much as possible, because I think it's brilliant. And then you're actually getting a video on material or techniques that you're actually concerned about or that you would like further study into. I think it's just more valuable for everybody involved. So thank you. Awesome, awesome idea. So for this one, because I was going to show you a new song today, but we're going to stick with this one for a little bit, just based on what you had sent in the message. I think it makes sense for us to look at this a little while longer. I had arranged the Imperial March for the violin as well, which if there's a little bit of time at the end of the video, maybe I'll include that as well. But I thought I'd cover a few things in particular. First thing I just want to remind you about is our finger or bow grip. So remember, here, I'll get it set up this way. Remember, your thumb is bent and it's touching against the hairs of your bow. So always try to make sure you have that curl in your thumb. When you're playing, try to make sure your hand is really relaxed. So even if you play on the strings without the rest of your hand touching, you can get a really, really strong, comfortable sound out of your violin. So the main pressure of the violin isn't in the tension in your palm, it's actually between your first finger and the string. Your thumb is just a balance point. You should never be lifting with your thumb. Your bow should just sink right into the strings, and that is why your shoulder gets kind of involved in the process. Sorry, if you're wondering why the camera is set up weird, it's so then you can see my fingers a little better. Specifically because you had a question about high twos and low twos, I wanted to make sure that my fingers were a little bit more visible from this angle. Sorry, I got something on my nose. So, more of your shoulder in your bow strokes. No pressure in your hand at all. Just from above, from your shoulder. No inner pressure in your palm as you play. And as you play with your fingers, try to make sure your fingers are playing as lightly on the strings as possible. This is an exercise that you can do to practice the difference between your triplets and your straight eighths, because one of the things that this song has is triplets. So if we use our full bow strokes, get a nice full sound. We can do eighth notes. Triplet, 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 triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still the same quarter note. So for high twos, here's the exercise you can do. Just quarters first. So let's start on a D string for now, because we can do all these on D string or A string. Let's do A string, why not? Remember, your high 2 is always going to be between your 3 and your 2. So your 2 is closer to your chin. It's a little higher up the neck of the violin, not closer to the scroll. Low 2s. Low 2s are closer to your 1. So your 1 and your 2 touch in low 2s. And they're closer to the scroll. They're further down the neck of the violin. High 2s, your 2 and 3 touch. Low 2s, your 1 and 2s touch. So the exercise you can do with this, we'll start with quarters, then eighths, then triplets. So it'll sound like this. Now low 2s. Eighth notes. Oh, sorry, we're going to do high 2s first. My mistake. One more time. Low 2. twos. Triplets with high twos first. Low twos now. So I think that'll help a little bit with that one. So that's our triplets, our low twos, and our high twos, just to practice those three things in particular. And then you can really focus on getting a relaxed bow grip and playing with your shoulder, digging those bow hairs into the string so you're not lifting with your thumb. And you can try that on any of the strings. We used A, you can do it on D, you can do it on G. You may not want to do it on E just because of how shrill it is, but it's totally up to you. You're more than welcome to do it on E. So just because of the time of the video, I won't show you the Imperial March, but I will play through the Star Wars theme so that if you wanted to listen through it and slow it down or anything like that, you're welcome to at home. So here's the main theme from Star Wars. Oops. So a couple of things with this one, because of our key signature, the key of D, just remember that on our D string, we're going to have a high 2. On our A string, also going to have a high 2. On our E string, we're going to have a low 2. But on our G string, we have a high 2, high 3. So there's no touch between your 3. So in the B section in particular, that's where you're going to feel it. There's that high 3. Right? So then it goes on from there. So give that a try this week. Let me know how that goes. Depending on how it feels, depending on how it goes, we may also look at Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme next time. It's a little bit harder than this one though, so we may stick with this one a little while longer. But anyways, yeah, I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any further questions, and then hopefully next week we can kind of work on anything else that you might like to try out. So yeah, have a good week, and I'll see you next time.